trapezoidal rule. Today we're going to look at trapezoidal rule. So what is trapezoidal rule? Basically, you have a curve or an area, and instead of integrating that area from A to B, y equals f of x, it would be, obviously, the area would be integral from A to B, f of x dx. And the words for that would be the area bounded by y equals f of x equals a, x equals b, and the x-axis. But what happens is we're now going to divide this into the number of trapeziums. We're going to approximate the area of this underneath the curve by using a number of trapeziums. So if I just make that into, let's say, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 equal trapeziums, and you join that up, and you join that up, you join that up, and you join that up, you find that the area underneath those 4 trapeziums will approximate the area of your under the curve. Now, to cut the long story short, the more trapeziums you divide up, the more accurate that area approximation is going to be to the exact integral underneath the curve. So let's say you divide this up into n subintervals. So n is a number of subintervals. It's also called the number of strips. And the number of subintervals is actually the number of ordinates, which is the y values, minus 1. So if you have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 strips, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 function values, the y values that is, or the ordinates. The ordinates are the y values. And h, which is the width between the trapezium, is going to be a formula of b minus a divided by n, which makes sense. So that minus that divided evenly into n number of trapeziums, you get the width, not the height. I call it the width, much better. And a, of course, is the starting x value, and b is the n x value. And of course, I call this y1, y2, y3, y4, and y5 in this case. But this is y1 and this is yn in a generic case. And to cut a long story even shorter than that, the area shall be approximated by, not equal to, approximated by, the formula is h(2), and it's a formula, so you have to take it at face value. The first ordinate, or the first y value, plus the last y value, plus twice everything else in between. All y values in betwyn. And that's the formula. So that equals to then h(2), y1 plus yn plus twice y2 plus y3 plus plus yn minus 1. Now, a lot of textbooks use y0 to yn. I don't like y0. Why start the first one with y0? I start with y1. That's the only difference. So the best way of doing trapezoidal rule, though, is that you have to have a table. And so they can ask you this question here. Find the area underneath the curve. I'm just making this up. 1 to 5. And then x plus, make it x squared plus, make it x squared plus 3 square root. And I'm going to use 4 subintervals. 4 subintervals. So there's my A, there's my B, there's my N. There's my F, by the way. So like I said, the best way is to draw a table. So you start with X value, Y value. So start with 1. You got to work out the H first before you start anything. So H equals B minus A on N. And that will be 5 minus 1 on 4, which is 1. So H equals 1. And so that means it goes up by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So 1 squared plus that is going to be root that is 2. 2 squared is 4, so root 7. 3 is 9, so root 12. And 4 squared is going to be 16, so it's going to be 19. And 5 squared is 25, so it's going to be 28. And then you should really label underneath here call this y1, y2, y3, y4, and y5. That will be the best thing. And then what you do then is you quote the formula, which is always quote the formula, is h onto y1 plus y5, first plus last, plus twice the ones in between. And then you substitute in the value. So h is 1, so put 1 on 2. First one is 2. The last one is 28. And then twice the one in between. That's all there is to it. And then whatever your calculator says, you take out your calculator, you get the answer. So let me quickly do that in my calculator. So root 28 equals plus root, no, wrong. I do the root 7 equals plus root 12 equals plus root 19 equals times 2 equals plus root 28 equals plus 2 equals, and divided by 2, that's the order you do it in. It's approximately 14.1145. Here's the proof right there. 0.0318 units squared. And that's how you do trapezoidal rule in a nutshell. So the key is the table. The table is the best way to do trapezoidal rule. You work out the A, the B, the H, the N, work out what H goes up by, you plug it into here, you find out the Y values, put underneath it. This is the key secret. Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5, first plus last plus twice in between, you can't miss it. And that's where I stop.